I'm very appreciative of all of the speakers and workshop leaders, everything that everybody's brought here. Uh, each and every one of you have contributed. You've heard that I have in my ancestors roots back to the Pilgrims, these puritanical roots. A lot of my ancestors were preachers, and on Sunday they gave a sermon, and these Sunday sermons and the service itself was meant to be a spiritual feast that lasted all week long. I'm in a way sort of sorry that if some of you had to give up your Sunday service to be here, but I'm not that sorry because we've all been receiving multiple gifts here. And after we're done, if you go outside today and walk in the sunshine, I think already you will begin to experience the sun and the sunlight differently. So I hope that these mysteries of light help each of us to see further, to see more clearly. We've learned that the interplay of light and dark are joint agents, we can call it that, in these mysteries of light. I want to tie off momentarily with last year. We had one of our speakers was Jeff Volk, who publishes books. And this book here is, hold it up a little closer there, the new edition of this book, Cymatics, whose author, Hans Jenny, was an anthroposophist. I highly recommend this book, and you can get it from Macromedia Publishing, if not from Amazon or whatever your book service, online book service might be. Matt Siegel was discussing today the light course, and thank you, Matt, for digesting it for us. And he talked about space and time, which I also have tried to help us see the sort of sense of space and time on different levels. And we learned some about awakening to life, to the etheric forces. We heard about Whitehead bridging from elements to music, and it tied into what Judith Erb brought to us Friday night. But importantly in Matt's talk was how in the 1900s, Steiner felt there was sort of no bridge yet. But then by the time we got to the 1920s, with what was happening in physics, there was places to make bridges. So today we have a further bridge maker, and that is our encounter with consciousness. And we've tried to explore that here, looking at inner light and outer light. So in our conference, we tried to flow from the physics to consciousness studies, to I am the light of the world, shall we say, to the religious studies. Now, I hope many of you don't go away and say, this was a great conference. I got a lot out of it. I'm very appreciative. That's good. I hope in a way you do way. But what would be really pleasing to us is if you say, this was a great conference. I now know what I'm going to do next. Involvement. We hope that many of you will, maybe in tech, maybe in your own efforts, or maybe in another institution that you know, such the Institute of Noetic Sciences or the works of Rupert Sheldrake or many of the others, that you bring, heard, and made your own out of this conference to help further human evolution. I've heard over the last couple of years a lot of criticism of Waldorf schools, and much of it well-deserved. But I think what's really helpful going forward is this development of brotherhood with each of the different daughter movements, that we support one another so that we can all work on this expansion of natural science past its preset boundaries into the etheric and on into spiritual science. I think this is the Michaelic task of our time. So I'd like to mention that starting in September, as they do every year, and a new set will begin in January and a new set after that in April, are 12-week Mystech study courses. And if you're unfamiliar, these are using lectures excerpted from Rudolf Steiner lectures that pertain to a given topic. And I think that this working together, whether it's here or in these study courses or even on your own, the point is that we're not just gaining knowledge, but we are fostering brotherhood. Oh, by the way, also, there's one that's 16 weeks called The Mysteries of Evil, and you can find these on our website and register now for any of them. I think it's mystech.org/study courses. And just so you have a sense, if you've never done one of these, there is about 2 hours of homework, shall we say, for each session each week. Some people take more than the 2 hours to read that material, some people a little less. We also have monthly webinars. These are typically on Sundays, and you can find that also on our website. And periodically, not periodically, we don't know when, but just when we have what can be a special event, we go and offer those. Now, Daniel Hafner mentioned Mani's legend of light and darkness. And right at this moment, before I come to our final closing, I think this legend needs to be heard for this conference. And it just goes like this, just very short. At one time, the spirits of darkness wanted to take the kingdom of light by storm. They actually reached the borders of the kingdom of light and hoped to conquer it. But they failed to achieve anything. Now they were to be punished. And that is a very significant figure, which we really need to take account of. They were to be punished by the kingdom of light. But in this realm, there was nothing, which was, in a way, of evil. There was nothing but the good. Thus, the demons of darkness could only have been punished with something good. So, what happened? And it is the following. The spirits of light took a part of their own kingdom and mixed it with the materialized kingdom of darkness. Because there was now a part of the kingdom of light mingled with the kingdom of darkness, a kind of leaven had been introduced into the kingdom of darkness. And this created a kind of chaotic whirling dance, which becomes a vortex, whereby it received a new element into itself. This was the falling of death into this vortex. Therefore, it continually consumes itself and thus carries within itself the germ of its own destruction. It is further related that just because of this, the race of mankind has its existence. So, in other words, we primeval man represents just what was sent down from the kingdom of light to mix with the kingdom of darkness. Yeah, what should not have been there to conquer with it within its own being. So the profound thought which lies in this is that the kingdom of darkness has to be overcome by the kingdom of light, not by means of punishment, but through mildness, not by resisting the evil, but uniting with it in order to redeem this evil as such. Because a part of the light enters into evil, the evil itself can be overcome. Of course, this is the task that Mani has taken on, and the redemption of Ahriman, as we've heard, will come. Not in the Earth evolution, it will come in the next planetary condition called Jupiter. But we can see profound wisdom that Lucifer, by its retardation, its laggardness, and therefore by influencing humanity, broadens this whole theme to allowing Ahriman to become redeemed as well, by bringing in Ahriman, who was the laggard from a previous planetary condition, that of Old Sun. So that completes that. Just to help us close, I'm hoping that many of you will give us feedback. What worked? What didn't work? You can send it to me. If you don't have my email address, I'll just say it right now. It's jandrewlinnell@gmail.com. And if that doesn't work, send it to @yahoo.com. So I look forward to hearing your feedback. And if some of you also could write a report about this conference for your local branch, or even for your friends, or whatever organization you might belong to, that's very highly appreciated. And also, I'd love to hear of your ideas for our next conference. What topics might be of interest? And then comes the question, we've been holding online, then we went to hybrid. This year we went back to online. This question of online or hybrid. We've had, as you've probably heard, 400 registered for this conference, and we've had 100 online at one time, and the other 300, and probably some of the 100, are reviewing the recorded material. So become active. You're welcome to volunteer here at Mistech. But I hope you become inspired from this to be more active in the world. So I hope to see you here next year, if not sooner. And I'd like to close with the verse for America. But I have to admit, with all of this Lyme disease that I've had, the verse for America is not directly in my mind, but I am going to bring it up here so I can read it for us to close. And it goes like this. May our feelings penetrate into the center of our heart and seek in love to unite itself with human beings seeking the same goal, and with the spirit beings who, bearing grace, strengthening us from realms of light and illuminating our love, are gazing down upon our earnest, heartfelt striving. Thank you all And I wish you all the best, the warmest, and fulfillment in your endeavors. So thank you. And Jordy, over to you.